the Queen was joined by senior royals as she led celebrations at the annual Order of the Garter today. Her Majesty arrived at the chapel by state limousine, while the majority of members of the order, including the Prince of Wales and Duke of Cambridge, processed through the grounds of the castle to the event. Wearing velvet robes and a plumed hat, the Queen, who is sovereign of the order, waved from her chauffeur-driven car to the waiting crowds outside Windsor Castle, where just 1 month ago her beloved grandson Prince Harry married Meghan Markle. Today's ceremony is part of a 700-year tradition founded by Edward III in 1348 and honors those who have been knighted in recognition of their public service. Knights of the Garter are chosen personally by the sovereign to honor those who have held public office, who have contributed in a particular way to national life, or who have served the sovereign personally. Prince Philip, who effectively retired from official public duties last August, did not attend today's ceremony. He last took part in 2016, after the Queen was forced to cancel last year's Order of the Garter for the first time since 1984, because a snap general election meant it clashed with the state opening of Parliament. What is the Order of the Garter? How King Edward III was so inspired by tales of King Arthur he set up his own group of knights almost 700 years ago in medieval times. King Edward III was so inspired by tales of King Arthur and the chivalry of the Knights of the Round Table that he set up his own group of honorable knights, called the Order of the Garter. Nearly 700 years later, the order is the oldest and most senior order of chivalry in Britain. The knights, now both male and female, used to be limited to aristocracy, but today they are chosen from a variety of backgrounds in recognition for their public service. The patron saint of the order is St. George, patron saint of soldiers, and also of England, and if there are vacancies in the order, appointments are announced on St. George's Day, 23 April. The spiritual home of the order is St. George's Chapel, Windsor. Every knight is required to display a banner of his arms in the chapel, together with a helmet, crest and sword and an enameled stall plate. These achievements are taken down on the knight's death, and the insignia are returned to the sovereign. The stall plates remain as a memorial, and these now form one of the finest collections of heraldry in the world. Knights of the Garter are chosen personally by the sovereign to honor those who have held public office, who have contributed in a particular way to national life, or who have served the sovereign personally. As sovereign and heir, the Queen and Prince Charles are automatically given membership of the order and are considered ex officio knights. The Prince of Wales is known as a Royal Knight Companion of the Garter. The sovereign, known as the Sovereign of the Garter, is the only one with the power to admit new members. The Garter is open to British and Commonwealth citizens. Notable former members include Sir Winston Churchill, Stanley Baldwin and Sir Edmund Hillary. Field Marshal, the Lord Bramall, a former Chief of the Defence Staff, the Duke of Abercorn, the Duke of Westminster and Baroness Manningham Buller, the former Director General of MI5, are among the current Knights and Ladies of the Garter. There are also 2 orders of extra knights. Members of the Royal Knights and Ladies include Prince Philip, Prince Andrew, Prince Edward, Prince Charles, the Princess Royal and Prince William. A second order, the Stranger Knights and Ladies, is bestowed on foreign rulers such as Queen Margaret II of Denmark and Harald V of Norway. although new additions are named on St. George's Day, the 23 April. The initiation ceremony takes place in Junmantle during the traditional Garter procession, which sees members parade through Windsor. The annual iconic Garter Day procession, where the Queen and the Knights process in grand velvet robes, glistening insignia and plumed hats, is one of the most traditional ceremonies in the Queen's calendar. Every June, a grand procession of the Knights takes place at Windsor Castle, accompanied by marching band and officers of the order, all in grand ceremonial dress. The day begins with the Queen formally investing any new companions with the Order's insignia in the throne room of the castle. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh entertain the members and officers at a lunch, and then all process on foot to a service in street. George's Chapel. There is a short service, where any new companions are installed. The sovereign and other members of the order then return to the upper ward of the castle in carriages and cars. The Queen and Prince Charles, as sovereign and heir, are automatically given membership of the order and are considered ex officio knights with the power to admit new members. Two appointments are being made in today's ceremony, due to two current vacancies in the order following the deaths of Sir Ninian Stephen and Sir William Gladstone since the previous ceremony in 2017. Lady Companion, Dame Mary Fagan, and a Knight Companion, the Viscount Brookborough, were invested with the order's insignia by the Queen. Dame Mary Fagan, DCBO, served as Lord Lieutenant of Hampshire between 1994 and 2014, and was also Chancellor of the University of Winchester from 2006 until 2014. Alan Henry Brooke, 3rd Viscount Brookborough, has served as personal lord-in-waiting to the Queen since 1997, and has been Lord Lieutenant of Company. For Man in Northern Ireland since 2012. He served with HM Armed Forces between 1971 and 1994, with 17th 21st Lancers, the Ulster Defence Regiment and the Royal Irish Regiment. The Garter is open to British and Commonwealth citizens, with former Prime Minister Sir John Major and Lord Sainsbury numbered among the 23 current members. Field Marshal, the Lord Bramall, a former Chief of the Defence Staff, the Duke of Abercorn, the Duke of Westminster and Baroness Manningham Buller, the former Director General of MI5, are also Knights of the Garter. There are also two orders of extra knights. Members of the Royal Knights and Ladies include Prince Philip, Prince Andrew, Prince Edward, Prince Charles, the Princess Royal and Prince William. Hundreds gathered in Windsor to watch the historic spectacle of the Queen and Knights of the Garter attending the Garter service. Crowds gathered in the castle grounds were treated to the sight of Garter Knights walking past wearing lavish blue velvet robes and black velvet hats with white plumes. The appointment of Knights of the Garter is in the Queen's gift and is made without consulting ministers. Recipients of the honor are chosen because they have held public office, contributed to national life, or served the sovereign personally. Other members of the order include former Prime Minister Sir John Major, Lord Phillips of Worth Matravers, a past President of the Supreme Court, and Admiral Lord Boyce, a former head of the UK's armed forces.